Hello everyone, this is Ether Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. Once again, we are so have these interesting teams here. This time around, I decided to try and design teams so that it wouldn't necessarily auto-lose the dragons, but of course the fourth team is just a big team. So let's check out our records. So a lot of what happened this season was I basically had to predict what team they were going to pick and counter-pick accordingly. So this was a pretty terrible matchup in the first place. It didn't matter which team I picked. It would have been some issues straight away regardless. So we go hyper-aggressive here, but unfortunately, once again, we were trying no daily
Let our beauty enchant you.
Our Red Lilna is short of picking up the kill, but this time around, now that she has triangle attack with Naga support, she's able to barely two-shot Duoduma, but two shots nonetheless. And the match is already over, of course, at this point, because they just outrange us and they have more action, so we can't do anything. We're just basically trying to see if they're going to give us any more kills for free, but of course that's not going to really happen. So, except for this part, they should have just taken out Harmonized Catcher there, but they didn't, so it's of course going to be GG. Nothing we can do. Straightforward loss. We didn't have much of a win condition because of Duoduma. So, ripperonis. And once again, our general strategy going up against, or banning, in terms of banning teams, was all we basically want to do is get rid of the threats that we just cannot, or avoid all the threats we just cannot handle, period. So any super tanks, duo daggers, duo dagger on a competent team, that is. Auto battle kicked in here. So, I did not want Legendary Nana over here, but I guess it technically works out. Technically. They end up, I can't remember if it was a surrender or DC, but at this point it would have been interesting because essentially we are in a winning position if they exchange Yuri for Ascended Fjorm here, and I don't even know if he can kill. pretty sure you can't, so that doesn't help their case. Because we simply just outrange their units. Sure, they have a far save in Winter Ephraim, but we have Legendary Alm to help deal with that. But overall, I did like how I relatively built my team compared to previous seasons. Still not the greatest, but given what we have, aka no save units, we just gotta deal with it. I like the Astrid pairing with Legendary Alm and Legendary Nana just because versus having Legendary Zera, because this way we can retain their action while still getting the extra mobility. And here, our opponent did not do their daily damage calcs. I didn't either, so it was a pleasant surprise that we could actually one-shot their young Mia, and at that point, the game's over because they cannot deal with Ascended Fjorm here. And so, they just have all their units gone, and we just get a clean win from that. If we can't kill young Mia there, we're basically GG, game over. Because we would have to sack one of our units to chip her down for another one of our units to pick up the kill. And then if we were managed to keep Ascended Fjorm with one of our nukes, at that point we probably could still win, but pretty dicey. And here we get an absolute straightforward match. None of their teams are really a threat for us. They just immediately surrender. it was not going to be great for them regardless. Although we aren't running Hardy Bearing on Vrylilna, so there are some issues associated with that. Because they did pick their team of Young Marth, and we would specifically have to target him down if we were to fight against him, but I think it would have been fine regardless. Here, I basically figured that my opponent was going to run the Dragons team, so I figured I should probably bring my best chance to beat the Dragon team, which is with our best Dragon Slayer by far in our Duels teams, Legendary Julia, with no follow-up seal, because it's too good. No follow-up seal is insane here. They decided to just give us the kill here for free. I don't know why they would do that. And they also decided to not pick up a kill with Tiki until at this point, which is too late. They really essentially just gave us a free kill because Legendary Julia is going to nuke everything. I didn't even run the daily damage calcs here. I just figured that she could survive Legendary Elwood because of Light and Dark 2 with Virtuous Naga's damage reduction. So I figured our only real threat is the Corrin, but because of how their units are placed, they can't really do anything about that. I don't know why they moved Corrin like this, because Julia gets a one-shot on her, even through negating Fang. They really should have just smited her in, which would have gave them a much better chance. I would have just body blocked with someone, preventing that, and then we basically just win with Legendary Julia and Legendary Zera together. They can't run away forever. And once again, we are up against some dragons, so I figured I again have to pick Legendary Julia. Surprised how many times this team was not banned, considering people were bringing lots of dragons, but the big issue, of course, is Mr. Yuri. Basically, all we have to do in this matchup is pick up the kill on Yuri with exchange Yuri for anyone but Legendary Julia and probably Legendary Zera, and we win. But of course, here we just throw turn 1 and give them a free kill here, which is not good. Because of course they have speed, they have the bulwark on Vicky, so we go for this kill here, and
right here.
We burn a turn with the Harmonized skill, because Harmonized Roy has nothing better to do. And well, of course, Tiki's gonna be able to deal with that. Here, so at this point, we go for the kill on Yuri, but in reality, it straight up does not matter what we do here, because they have too large of a point lead. We have to be able to nuke all of their units, and we can't do that. Or, we don't have to nuke all their units, but we do have to nuke a lot of their units. And so I figured might as well take out Yuri for simplicity. But yeah, there's absolutely nothing we can do at this point. If we picked up the kill on their Ascended Tiki, then Yuri would have just picked up the kill on Legendary Zera, and then we'd still be in this problem. The problem here, of course, is that we cannot advance, unfortunately, because Roy is a cav unit and cannot reposition on this trench. So if we could do that, it's GG, because we would just be able to have Julia guarantee a kill on one of their units, and in particular, we would win on 1 kill plus capture zone points. So we can't do that, so it's just over by 1 point, because they did pick up the kill on our captain, so they got that plus 1 point. Unfortunate, but what can you do? Pretty much in that matchup, all I had to do was not throw turn 1, but of course we're gonna throw turn 1. That's how it works around here. But here we have Ymir shenanigans with more shenanigans. Of course, the little thing is Nagi is going to wall Legendary on every single time, unless maybe, just maybe, we get a strong enough Lunar Flash, but of course he doesn't have a recharge, so that's not a thing. Here we can pick up the kill on Dual Crown. Decide not to because I realize if we do that, they can just camp with Nagi. And we can't afford that because we would just lose. So we're basically just stalling time. Because we basically want them to approach us, and, well, we invite this exchange because Legendary Nana can pick the revenge kill, and with how they set up their units already, they can't revenge kill Legendary Nana. And in fact, they straight up give us the first action turn 3 here by using that swap. So we can just pick the kill on the A-tree. We don't care about the miracle because we're doing way too much damage and it's just over. They can't approach us and we can just camp because it's Summoner Duels, and once you have the point advantage you can just camp for life. So yeah, there's nothing I can do here. We get that +1 movement again and we just do way too much damage. Bonus, doubler, a lot of shenanigans. We don't care about miracle. And the match is just over. For them to win there, they essentially need to pressure us into having exchanging Legendary Nana for anyone but Nagi, and then they're in a pretty strong spot there. Because otherwise Nagi just walls, and they can just march up towards us with their units, and we can't do anything about it. So here we have a pretty interesting matchup, for sure. We've got our Dragon Slayer and Legendary Julia. I'll leave as an exercise for the viewer to determine the actual matchup between these two. But they decide to just give us a free kill on... Well, it's not necessarily free, of course, Brave Adult Tiki can kill. But let's just say some things did not go right for our player here. They end up just surrendering. Again, I'll leave it as an exercise for the viewer to determine how this matchup would have gone, but essentially things would not be going well regardless because of the AoE coming in next turn. And here, we didn't have much of a great choice in terms of team picks here. I decided to just pick this team. I figured their Valentine Lucina was going to be near save, and indeed, well, she was. Not a surprise. Kind of comes with near save base kit. So our win condition here is to exchange, or pick up the kill on their Brave Female Violet. That's exactly what we don't do here. And honestly, I just did not, I don't know why I didn't realize it, but Brave Female Violet was in range to attack, so yeah. I knew Ascended Fiona was not surviving because she was getting straight up doubled, so it was not going to end well regardless. But at this point the match is over again, we have fewer actions, and we have Legendaries already give that +1 movement, so we cannot do anything. And we just kind of do whatever at this point. And well, that's about it. Probably should have just picked up the kill there, but decided not to. Again, does not matter at all. And here they just win because of the drawback from Yoon. Guaranteed, we can't revenge kill, so it's just GG. Gonna keep running and hope we can get another kill, but they're not gonna give it to us. Invite that exchange again for the pure purpose of trying to get as many points as we can, but nope. Here I pretty much just threw because I picked the wrong team. I figured they were gonna use this team, so I was gonna pick my team with Legendary Julia, and it wouldn't be a guaranteed win, but it definitely would have been way easier than this matchup, because the problem is, of course, Brave Dimitri. He could just be by himself here, and he would probably win, because we need to get Lunar Flash 2 up on Legendary Alm, which we can only do if we get him to attack something, but of course, naturally, they're going to charge in Brave Dimitri, which makes sense. So, they just get the capture points here, and it's basically already over, because that essentially solidifies that we have to beat the whole team. I completely forgot about Kanto, so we end up stacking Legendary Alm there. So then the match is of course way over already, but what can you do? The only way we have any sort of chance of beating Brave Dimitri is with Lunar Flash and Legendary Alm, and of course I don't actually know if we would even be able to kill at that point, because we'd still have to contend with his fixed damage reduction based off his defense. I think we probably could have picked up the kill with Lunar Flash, but unfortunately that's not how things went. Yoon definitely was not helping either. And with that, that is all of our matches for the season. Overall, not too shabby, not the greatest, but we definitely counter-picked the opponent's teams quite a bit to win, because otherwise things would have been more difficult. Typically, we would end up having, when for some reason they kept both our Dragon Slaying options, I would typically pick the second team, because the third team's pretty weak. Whoops. Third team's pretty weak, it's just kind of there. But with that, we are most likely making top 1k, which is nice, considering we dropped out of top 1k, I think, last time. But until next time, that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. As always, this is Ether Dragon, and hope to see you all next time. Bye!